All right, everybody. It is 1 o'clock p.m. and it's time for Soul Polls Saturday. And once again, it's that VINCE. And of course, I tried to sleep in today, folks. I really did. But because I've been working the schedule to where I've been getting up at 5:30 in the morning, my sleep in time was 6:30 in the morning, even though I went to bed at 1 o'clock a.m. after doing the midnight run. So apparently I've somewhat adjusted to the schedule so much that where I'm going to wake up a little bit earlier from now on, which I'm going to pretty much use to my advantage, I suppose. I mean, that's really the only thing I can do. If you guys are, of course, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to head in the gym in about a minute as soon as this stream is over. Work on the arms, the biceps, and the triceps. Was going to do a business live stream, but instead I'm actually just going to put out a video whenever I get home after working out in the gym. Hey, Skin Showcase, what's up, man? Certainly hope you're doing well, but of course, on Soul Polls Saturday, we may watch a few live videos, but most of this, of course, naturally, is a Q&A. That's all it is. That's all it's ever going to be. Period. But other than that, I've also told you guys I was working on some material. I'm also going to go to, like I said, after I hit the gym, I'm going to go to Bodas. Well, the weight's coming down real quick there, Infinite. It's like I said before, now I've reached that phase to where, everything's going to be dropping in place, pretty much. And I mean, that even includes diet-wise, too. It's a good thing I only have 30-minute lunch breaks because and because of the short space, all I can fit is, some protein bars or protein shake and a sandwich, and that's about it, And then, of course, because I work right around where I go to the gym it makes it a lot more convenient anyway. I'm already downtown. I can work out, Period. But no, I don't have a six-pack yet. I never had a six-pack even when I'm dieted down. I only have 4 abs, Infinite. I don't have a six-pack. I mean, I only have 4, but it's better than Boyer Co. He doesn't have any abs at all. Let's see what's going on in the world of YouTube. Frank Tofano made a 20-minute video on healthy hot dogs. First, we have his cheap liver detox stuff, and now he's made a video on hot dogs. He can take a hot dog in his mouth as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Lamar's lighting it on fire. Joe and Nick. Let's see what Veganism Exposed is about. Vegan Gains makes argument for underage girls having their shirts off. Vegan Gains wants to die in an explosion because he lost in a video game. I think that one would be cool, folks. Gee, I gotta watch that one. Let's see what we got here. Oh.
How pathetic was Turkey Tom for acting fake and interviewing you and then dropping a hit piece on you for clicks? Dude acting friendly and understanding and then, boom.
That wasn't a hit piece, and I knew what the video was going to be like before he released it. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Gamma 4 status. Gamma 4, do you copy? Sir, he's going for the defense shield.
Batman's such an awesome game. I wish I had the computer equipment actually to play that.
So, where do I fuck this thing up? Take out the long-range missile launcher. Yeah, I'm... Where? How?
The armor on the missile launcher is too thick for me to penetrate. I need something with a little more punch. It's being protected by...
You know, my 8-inch shillelagh, that's something that'll punch it.
by a defense shield. I can lower it in the control room. I'll stay in the control room and bring the car in remotely. I can't let the militia get in here to re-enable the defenses. Alfred, I need you to lower the bridges.
Of course, sir. I see you're making full use of the Batmobile's remote guidance system.
Looks like they remodeled the Batmobile.
Sir, Batman's lowering all 3 bridges into Founder.
Hey, Lamar, what's up? You know, doing the Soul Poll Saturday. I thought I'd check out some of, missed videos from Veganism Exposed. So, this is one where he said he would die in an explosion. So, I'm gonna assume, Lamar and everyone else here, that car is gonna explode.
Island. He's bringing the car to destroy the missile launcher. Deploy Strike Team Delta to target location now. Yes, sir. What about the Batmobile? Activate the Cobra Squadron. Ride into the ground.
Fuck is this shit? Oh my god.
Alpha target spotted in pressure.
Suck my fucking cock, dude. Oh my god, fuck off.
Enemy's been found. Riker Heights.
Oh, God.
I really wish I could just get blown up in real life like that. Just fucking obliterated by a high explosive. Just nothing but bits of, like, hair left.
Hold on, man. I was up there saying ooh so much here. Let's play that again, folks. Just...
I really wish I could just get blown up in real life like that. Just fucking obliterated by a high explosive. Just nothing but bits of, like, hair left.
Oh, damn. Tough break, nigga. Yeah. That's my cousin for you. Call you Captain Hook. Throwing straight hooks, huh, Lamar? I got you. You gonna do another fight soon? Let me know. Yeah. It's like that. Whenever that car got blown up there, it just sucked the eternal life out of him or something, you know. Literally. Let's see the other video that he actually made. Now, my cousin needs to really watch talking about underage girls, because no matter how it can be interpreted, folks, it's always going to be interpreted in a very negative manner. So, you know, well, let's just go and, let's go ahead and see this. You would for your fee? I got you. Let's see what we got here.
You want to check on the situation on Discord? Yeah, sure.
Yo.
Yo, what's up, Richard?
Yeah, I have an interesting take on this whole situation. So,
Alright.
I think when...
You know, it's already a bad start, folks, when you say you have a interesting take on something.
Children are being sexualized online, that's a problem. Even if what it is isn't necessarily pornographic. So the stuff happens on YouTube. There are parents that like sexualize their kids on their platforms to get monetization, and YouTube's cracked down on this a lot. So there were like family channels, quote unquote, that would do like yoga with their like 5-10-year-old kids, and they'd make them wear leotards, stuff like that. That's not necessarily pornographic, but it is sexualizing children.
Because obviously the intention is to like get creeps to like it and watch it and whatever.
Yeah.
And I
No, the hell it isn't. Let me put it to you this way, and this is coming from a former corrections officer here, okay? It doesn't matter what a little girl is doing, whether they're playing outside, whether they're doing beauty pageants or anything like that. Pedophiles are still going to attack little children. You want to know why? Because they're fucking pedophiles, There's nothing that's going to stop them. So no specific behavior in itself is sexualizing a little girl, okay? A long time ago, when rapes were occurring in the 19th century, people would blame it on women dressing too provocatively, Fact of the matter is, a pedophile is a pedophile is a pedophile. Much like Schillinger from Oz said, a bitch is a bitch is a bitch, A pedophile is gonna pedo, okay? No matter what. They're gonna, it doesn't matter how how some underage girl is dressed or anything like that. So I don't know why my cousin's coming up with this stupid shit, It's ridiculous. So but however, this title says letting underage girls have their shirts off. So let's see how we come to that conclusion. I need to quit interrupting, to be honest with you, and just play the damn video.
I would agree with your take there. What do you think about like the jokes though? Like the 3 thing in chat.
What's the 3 thing in chat?
Have you watched this whole something about chickens video yet, or?
No, I watched a bit of that to catch a kick predator. I didn't watch the whole video. But I think people are kind of overblowing the situation a little bit, because men can take their shirts off, right?
Yeah, we could check that out, Lamar.
10, 15-year-old boys can make videos or do live streams where they don't have their shirts on. You can see their nipples. I don't see a good argument for why underage girls shouldn't be able to do the same thing. There's nothing really about female nipples that are unique. I think what the actual problem is that these underage girls are being sexualized on stream. It's not that what he's doing is necessarily pornographic. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I guess at a base level, yes, but don't you think that if an underage girl has her nipples out, pedophiles are going to sexualize it no matter what?
Yeah. You could say that, but you could say that about boys too.
Do these two suck each other's own dicks or something? Are they not paying attention? Pedophile's gonna pedo. It doesn't matter how an underage person is dressed, okay? They're just gonna attack regardless. They see an underage person up there, no matter how they're dressed, they can be covered in mud and smell and everything like that. They'll snatch them off the sidewalk, But that's their way of their train of thought, which is just moronic.
There are pedophiles who like photos and videos of underage boys with their shirts off.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't really have a problem with social media banning pictures of underage boys with their shirts off, really.
Yeah,
I guess I
so
wouldn't really care.
That creates a weird problem, though. Like, if somebody were to, say, do a live stream at a beach, and there were boys in the background who are maybe 10, 15, just enjoying a day.
Pugman, what's up? Is anyone on the offensive? I'm not really sure. This one's a video about him. I've not seen him where he said it there, but he could have implied it. But Good to see you here, Pug.
Day at a beach, should they get banned from streaming?
I mean, I guess you're right. It is like kind of a hard standard to enforce, but realistically, I'm just like not gonna have a problem with most policy decisions that are going against fucking, you know. I understand the double standard you're talking about, like to an extent, but like,
Oh, Pug man, almost forgot since you just got here. I'm just checking out a couple of videos. It's just a regular chill out day. Got to hit the gym after I finish a stream. I was going to do the business live stream, but I'm actually just going to do a direct business video instead once I get back.
like, especially with underage girls, they're always going to be sexualized, right?
Yeah,
If they
well,
have their
boys
shirt
are
off.
too.
Like.
Well, that's the thing. We live in a culture where we're kind of obsessed with titties. Like all dudes love tits, but looking at it from a predator's perspective,
That's his video, not mine. I think. Yep, that's his.
some child predators like seeing shirtless boys too. So if the idea is to disincentivize creeps and pedophiles, in order to be consistent, you'd also have to ban even adults, even adult men from taking their shirts off.
Well, do you think that we shouldn't ban underage girls from taking their shirts off then?
I think it entirely depends on context. You can't control whether or not somebody's going to get horny from something. I think when somebody's actually being sexualized, that's when something should be banned. So this guy who's the kick predator, oh, why don't you take your shirt off for us? That sort of shit. He's clearly trying to sexualize these girls. If you were to go to, say, a beach in Europe or something, and you were live streaming and there were girls in the background with their shirts off, that's not necessarily sexualizing. I think so. What I'm saying is the main problem here is that these underage kids are being sexualized, not necessarily that their shirts are off.
I mean, I agree, but I still would not be comfortable with, even if they're not being sexualized, like them being naked on the internet, because like it's gonna happen regardless, right?
Well, it's going to happen to boys too.
Well, in that case, like I guess I just wouldn't mind banning it altogether, like that much. I know there's double standards we run into, like we could sort that out later, but like
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to walk back like getting rid of shirtless underage girls. Like I'm never gonna walk that back. Like we need to get. I think that needs to be God. You know.
Sure. Yeah, I just don't like the double standard where guys can take their shirts off but girls can't. I don't like how we have a culture that does that sort of thing. But yeah, in the interest of protecting children, sure, I wouldn't be against, say, a blanket ban on underage kids, whether they're male or female, taking their shirts off.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess we're kind of in agreement there
Yeah.
then. Okay. Cool.
I mean, that title was quite deceptive. He, at no point in time did he really advocate for underage girls to take their shirt off. Even at the very end, he's made it, my cousin's made it clear, so I'll have to ask him about that. But one thing that just weirded me out is that they simply don't understand pedophiles, Like I said, it doesn't matter if they have their shirts on or not. They're just, they just like underage kids, So there's no amount of dress that you can do. There's nothing that you can do in order to prevent them from being attracted to underage people, whether it doesn't, you can't change their clothing or anything like that. It's just like rapists. You know what I mean? People will always say, well, if that woman didn't dress so provocatively, she wouldn't be raped. And that's just simply not true. It just isn't. I mean, a rapist is going to rape regardless as to how someone's dressed, and that's no different than a pedophile. A pedophile is going to attack an underage kid no matter how they're dressed. Those two need to still get their head out of their ass, but I don't see where he's actually advocating for underage girls having their shirt off. I simply get what he's actually saying. I guess he's more or less saying that, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But no one should be taking off their shirt, to be honest with you. Not underage, unless you actually have a physique. If you're doing a bodybuilding show, okay. If you're on the beach, okay. In other words, only take your shirt off when it's appropriate. Period. You should fight vegan definition. Oh, that would be good. Well, Pugman, he's always going to skip out on fights. That's what all of them do. They'll talk about fighting and getting into MMA, Pug and Lamar, but they're not going to do it. They're just not. And it's kind of a shame, too. It really is. Let's check out your shorts, man. Oh, you got 3 of them. Oh, my man. Wild Cherry Pepsi. Nah, Lamar, you gotta fight for more money than that. Alright, Speecher. I've not seen that in quite some time. I guess that's now sold up here. They used to sell that stuff down here, but I guess not. Alright, one more. Well, that one messed up. Hold on. Let's see. That was a Strize. Well, did we do the Mountain Dew code? Okay. Mountain Dew code. You just coming up with stuff out of nowhere, Lamar, man. Like I said before, you keep doing what you're doing. I keep hearing about this vegan definition person there, but I don't know much about him. I mean, I know he likes Palestine, but, he doesn't know shit about the Israel-Palestine thing. Remember what I told you guys. You see, I got a lot of Jewish friends. I got a lot of Muslim friends, you know what I mean? I'm a very cultural guy. I mean, my last actual boyfriend was actually Asian, so, I work around the block and everything. But I'm going to tell you right now, folks, when it comes to Israel and Palestine, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Stay the fuck out of that business, okay? Stay out of the... when you got two groups that have been fighting for over 70 years, there is absolutely nothing you can tell either group that's going to stop. I think you should charge at least $10,000 or $5,000 at least, Lamar. At least enough to cover auxiliary, actuary, can't pronounce that name. Auxiliary, fuck it. To cover any medical expenses. Ancillary. Yeah, any ancillary expenses that you have, Lamar. Sorry, I'm asleep today. I should be remembering this. I talk about this on my job. Like I said, I'm in the medical business. I should have gotten ancillary. See, I can't even pronounce it again. But you should have enough sufficiently to where if you get hurt, Lamar, that you're going to be covered. See, even if you win a fight at $3,000 is not going to be enough to cover any type of injuries you have. But how old is this vegan definition character? I mean, he looks like a miniature version of you, Lamar. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know how he worked, but given his type of politics and everything, nothing actually surprises me. I've only watched one of his videos, and that was whenever he was fighting with Vegan Games. I don't think I subscribed to him or anything. Is he like 19 or something? Or let's see. Hey, see, I can already tell that this dude is an asshole. Just simply look at this. When you use the word Zionist, that right there is an anti-Semitic word, folks. You don't use the word Zionist in any form or fashion. That's just as bad as calling someone a nigger, plain and simple. Yeah. Oh, by the way, my ex is doing pretty good. We only broke up because he moved to Washington. I talked with them the other day. I talked with them a couple days ago. He's doing fine. The thing about it is that when you have a robotics engineering degree, you're definitely not going to get you're definitely not going to get any jobs here in South Carolina. So nice job, 6 figures. He's going to be all right. Tiffany Henyard, I've heard a couple of things. She's gotten in some trouble for pretty much racketeering some businesses, I think. Hey, Lamar, he's over 18. You can fight him. It doesn't matter how young someone's at, and stuff. He got fired from a warehouse job for wearing a hoodie. That's kind of odd, actually. There has to be more behind that story, Pugman, than just wearing a hoodie, Because if I was an employer, I would just tell the person to take the hoodie off, and not come in with it. If they're violating a specific dress code, I would tell them to go home and change into something else. And there's no real laws against hair, per se, unless it interferes with your work. And as you can tell by dreadlocks, he has a hair that goes down his face. So here's what I'm thinking, possibly, Pugman. I think he was terminated because he refused to cut his hair. And as you can tell, his hair is obstructing his eyesight. So if you're working a warehouse job and you're working on the forklift and you got that hair down, then you're going to make that place liable if you get into an accident when it comes to workers' comp. John just subscribed. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the party, pal. Of course he gets pegged by his wife there, John. He's already stuck dildos up his ass. But, I don't think they're having sex anymore. I think Jasmine's probably found another person. Maybe another woman or so forth. They might be licking tacos or something, They don't seem as though they're... I'm going to be honest with you. I could be wrong. I never try to interfere with the dynamics of someone's relationship. But I don't think they're humping around, like Bobby Brown or anything. Yeah, Lamar, you could fight him. He's over 18, He's free to fight. I advised him to join, but he said not for the U.S. Okay. Oh, the sound effect? That's actually the default for Streamlabs. I've never actually changed it. He's not going to go in the army. He'll never be together. They wouldn't allow him in the army because of all his mental issues, Lamar. You can't get in the army with his mental issues. Well, at some point in time, yes and no. The problem is that you don't really. The thing about it is you don't want to use the word Zionist. That's my whole thing. When you use something as the word Zionist, you're clearly sending a message that you don't like Jews. Period. And this person obviously doesn't like Jews. I mean, look at some of his. Well, let's actually listen to one of his videos. Let's listen to the one. Yeah, let's check this one out. Let's actually check out the one that.
So that really.
I don't know why it says I played half of this. I haven't played any of this video, so it had it on the halfway. I've not played this video at all, so oh well. He moved out at 19. I moved out when I was 18, Lamar. But on the other hand, I went to the army, so let's see what this Bomba Rat has to say.
Comes a time where it's just best to know how to use the block button on YouTube, like for real. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, basically, some of y'all saw the comment, but Vegan Games' boyfriend, Avi, came to my page talking about let's debate. Now,
happy to debate you on the claim of indiscriminate killing by the IDF if you're up for it. Indiscriminate killing. I did hear about some farmers and stuff like that, but that obviously wouldn't be the IDF whatsoever, you know.
Now, first of all, what's there to debate when I said I'm not fully informed on the topic? And second of all,
I mean, some farmers, I'm thinking probably Hatfields and the McCoy shit, you know.
what's there to debate when we're talking about children being massacred? Okay, I stand with the side that whoever's massacring thousands of children is fucking wrong. And there's...
Yeah, but listen here. Whenever you go and launch an attack and kill 1,200, unarmed concert goers all at once, yeah, you're going to piss off a couple of people, period. You see, they've been doing lightful lobbing bombs back and forth and stuff like that. But once they attacked that concert and invaded and killed like 1,200 people and raped and sodomized some people, yeah, Israel's going to be a little pissed and they want some revenge. But the thing about it is that the thousands of people that are being killed in Palestine is nothing compared to the millions of Palestinians and Jewish people and Israel citizens being killed over the course of 70 years. All the people that's been killed in Palestine, it's just a drop in the bucket compared to 70 years worth of things. He's looking at specific incidents. I'm looking at the whole conflict. I'm looking at the conflict as a whole. Like I said, this thing has been going on for 70 years. It's been going on long before he was born. It's been going on long before I was born. In fact, it's been going on almost as long as my mom has been born. We're talking about my mom. You know what I mean? Literally speaking, the Israel-Palestinian conflict has been going on before my mother was born. Literally. That's how old this conflict is. That's why you should stay the hell out of it,
There's no debating that, So something on the other hand that I also found out is that Avi is Jewish, so more than likely that lets you know what's going on. He's a hateful Jew who is mad and spewing false information on the violence that Israel is committing onto Palestine. So it all adds up to.
Well, both of them both of them have been going at each other for 70 years. Both of it's a tit and tat situation. Again, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But that's the ignorance of being 19 years old.
Why his boyfriend Vegan Game is misinformed, because he's been telling all the lies that he possibly can. And this is what they like to do. They like to try and challenge people to debates And so you can talk for hours behind the screen and they can get their ad revenue up and whatnot because they're desperate for money. Like I said, there's nothing to debate. It's crazy to see how these internet addicts are so quick to ask you to argue with them online, but when was the last time either of them posted a video about animal rights? Like,
where's the video about him losing a job? Because you're right, this video is actually kind of boring. It's just him chickening out of a debate with Vegan Gains. Is it in a short or something, or where is it at? Where he's which video is it, Lamar, to where he was talking about losing his job? I would like to see that one. Is it? Oh, this one must be it. Again, I don't get this. This thing it makes it look as though I've been watching it. You know what I probably did? I probably was watching one video and then it just auto-dialed to the next video while I was in my living room. Because sometimes I go from the living room to my office if I have a call. So it must have audio played this video for some reason. But let's check this out.
just out here chilling, come to this area just to free my mind sometimes. Some stuff down there. They're building some calisthenics area, so you might see some of that if I decide to mess with it later on. But yeah, it's a pretty neat area. Came out here on my e-board, so yup, the helmet set up. In life, it doesn't really matter how hard you work, especially as a there's always little noises out here like rabbits, but you know, you always gotta make sure you got your back. You know, it's usually just little rabbits and squirrels out here making noises.
Showcase, I've not really had time to watch much of anything. As soon as I come home from work, you know, I gotta catch up on all this stuff on my websites. Then I gotta answer all the calls that came in, and then I gotta answer all the emails that come in. By that time, it's literally like 8 o'clock, and then I have to go eat, and then I have to go to bed in like an hour before I, you know, and stuff, so I can get up at like 5:30 in the morning. So I'll be honest with you, I've not watched much YouTube stuff, you know. It's also why I have all the shorts as well. It just makes up for the missing content.
Whatever they do, you know, and I'm really out here disturbing them, so I'm gonna try and keep it down. But yeah, it doesn't really matter how hard you work, and I say this from experience recently. I got let go of a job that I was already going to leave for something as simple as wearing a hoodie, and this was a warehouse job.
Bullshit. No one gets fired over a damn hoodie, folks. Nobody. He's lying. He's lying.
I did things from order picking orders, to replenishing the actives in the warehouse, and I also did loading. So I loaded the trucks.
Just say that you worked for Amazon, you dipshit. He worked for Amazon, folks. I mean, he worked for Amazon.
In the warehouse. And if anybody in that warehouse was honest, they would say that I am without...
Your generation isn't brain dead, Jonesik. In fact, your generation is actually a lot smarter than mine because y'all have had access to the internet. You have access to all the information. But it's one thing to have access to the information. It's another thing to apply it. So while your generation is smarter, you know, again, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And that's where that comes in. So your generation's smarter than ours. It's just that you've not developed wisdom yet, you are still Padawans, but you'll grow up.
Without a doubt, the hardest worker, which I was. I was the most productive worker, and I was the most...
No, you weren't the most productive worker. Even if you were the most productive worker, it doesn't matter. You're a cog in the engine, okay? You're just a cog in any engine. Even my job, my previous job, they paid $70 a year. I'm still a cog in the engine. So quit saying you were the most productive. It doesn't matter.
Most efficient. And that's just me and my nature. I like to be good at things that I do. But in the end, it didn't matter when it came down to the small things that I got let go of for. And it kind of lets you know that when you're working for these white-owned companies, they don't really care.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did he say white-owned companies? So he's blaming the white man for getting fired? Literally. He's blaming a white man for getting fired.
I like to be good at things that I do. But in the end, it didn't matter when it came down to the small things that I got let go of for. And it kind of lets you know that when you're working for these white-owned companies, they don't really
care
about black people. And I'm saying this because I know there's going to be racists in the comments who say, stop victimizing yourself, stop saying this and that. And, I've done the work. I've put in more hours than they could imagine, than they could handle. When I turned 18, I started working my first job in retail full time. And then 6 months later, I started working another part-time job. And that job was just fluctuating hours. It would go from...
I mean, he's had 2 jobs in less than a course of a year. So obviously he's not as productive or as good as a worker as he claims to be. If you're changing jobs in a matter of 6 months, then you're fucking up,
16 to 20 to 24, sometimes a little bit more. And then they finally set it down at just 24 hours. So every single week I was working 64 hours plus, those jobs combined if I got overtime, which rarely happens. So 64 hours weekly, all throughout me being, half of being 18 up until I was 19. There was some days I had to work a double.
U.S. military, but for a very short time, medical issues.
At 2 different places. My second job, part-time job, I had to clock in at 6 a.m. and then I had to get off at 2 o'clock, had to clock into the next job, which was my first job, at 2 p.m. and then I have to get off at 10 p.m. And I remember this one situation where the guys that I worked with up at my second job, and they saw me in the morning working. They're like, "Dude, you're still working? Like, you were working in the morning with me." And they were like so surprised to see that I was still working, because it was just crazy that someone is working that amount of hours. That only gives me 8 hours to sleep, do anything, take a shower. You need damn near 8 hours of sleep. So imagine how tough that was. And even right now, I'm not in a place where I need to be financially. And that's because a lot of these jobs out here, they really have people screwed over, especially when they pay hourly and not by the work ethic. But also, look at how it comes to, when it comes to college and them saying, schools trying to enforce college onto us. College is even worse, because even though you could get better careers down the line, possibly, it's going to screw you.
Lamar, this guy isn't a hard worker. He's just a hard whiner, actually, I mean, you don't get credit for working. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like I said before. People brag about paying their child support. You're supposed to, and you're supposed to work for a living. So you don't get any cool points for working hard for a living. That's what you're supposed to do, Lamar. You know what I'm saying?
You over financially if you're not already a rich little brat and have your parents to cover your ass, which I don't. I never would, and I can't go back in time and change that. So I'm not a privileged little brat, never have been, and in life I've been pretty reliant on only me, and that's just the way it's had to be. So yeah, I ended up working all those hours, and some days I didn't even have time to get up and make food. I would just have to skip meals and whatnot. So that's just how it would be, and it would just be so tough.
Oh, you could have just gotten a protein bar, you bomba rat. Quit lying. If you got 2 minutes in a day, which 99.9999999% have, you got time to get a protein bar. Quit lying.
It was so tough sleep-wise.
Skipping meals.
I would just think, like, this is what I have to do. And both my jobs required me to stand the majority of the day. So this was killing my time. It took life out of me, and currently I'm 20 years old. I don't even feel like I'm 20, because throughout me being 18 and 19 years old, all I was doing was working extreme amount of hours, and at the end, it didn't really pay off because I'm at a place where I don't want to be financially. And this is partly because I didn't like who I was working with in my last job that I recently got let go of, because they were terrible people. And the company I worked for didn't care to investigate what exactly was going on with my situation and why I didn't like my supervisor. And the reason being is he's a terrible person. He eats animals, and he knows I don't like him because he knows that I know he's a terrible person, because I've said it to him, I've said it to other supervisors when we have conversations. We have a lot.
Blair said he won. I gotta check out that commentary too there, Pug.
A lot of conversations, some good, some about work, some bad, but either.
So it's gone from him getting fired for wearing a hoodie to a manager firing him because he eats meat and that he's a vegan. So it's gone from this to being black to being a vegan. Which one is it, motherfucker? You know, which one?
Way, I just make sure I tell them the truth and how I see things. But at the end of it all, if I wasn't as good with work as I was, and at the top of everybody there, because I literally stomp everybody as far as productivity working there, I would have been let go of. Because when you have views and they see how hardworking and smart the younger generation is, and I'm talking about older people who work these jobs for years and they want to actually grow in these jobs, I don't care about the job. You know, I do warehousing temporarily. That's not what I want to do. I want to do boxing for a living. Beat people.
You ain't gonna box shit, okay? You just not. And don't talk about us old folks. You have no clue what you're talking about. I've explained that numerous times. You know, you were born in the 2000s. You know what I mean? You were born in what, 2004, and I was born in 1977. What do you know about me, Negro?
Pull up for a living. So they get really jealous.
So I see you got these.
They see someone catching on to it so fast, and I was just the most fastest growing employee that at some point it wasn't even a surprise to everyone. Like, it was just, I would come in, I would pick the orders, and I would pick damn near twice as much as everybody else, getting paid the same wage, but
well, he picked a lot of stuff. He picked more boxes than anyone else. You ought to come down here to South Carolina and pick some cotton there, you know.
Twice as much as everybody
so
else.
if this vegan definition guy needs a job, if you pick boxes so well, come on down here and pick some cotton, you know. Got a lot of cotton to pick around here, you know.
And it got to the point to where it's like, it's just a normal thing. Like, they expected it, and it wasn't even a surprise anymore. So it's like, basically, once you do that, you don't become a good employee or a hard worker. It just becomes of what's expected of you. And when you have a slight mess up or mistake, they hold that against you. When I say they, I mean the supervisor, the manager, who is also is actually a narcissist and makes everything about himself. He doesn't like it when the spotlight is not on him.
Heck yeah, we got cotton. You know, I told you guys back in the late 80s, you know, to make a little bit extra money, me and my cousin Brandon, you know, we would actually crush cotton. You know, old Mr. Robert Taylor, who ran that field up there, he say, now listen here, boys, and you better get used to hearing the word boy. It's one, we were boys. One, we were young, and two, we were black. So Mr. Taylor, I still call him Mr. Taylor, even though he's been dead for 20 years, well, or at least 30 years, because he was born about the same time as my granddaddy. But Mr. Taylor said, hey, boys, get over here. Y'all want to make some money? All right. You see that cotton bin up there? I want y'all to go crush it. So me and Brandon, we put some wood board in there, and we jumped up and down on it for a couple hours. It was actually kind of fun. Old Mr. Taylor paid us $5 an hour, you know. Now $5 an hour back in the 80s, that's good money, you know. You can buy a candy bar for like 25 cents and everything, you know. But folks, I mean, and I'm sure he wouldn't understand it there, but, you know, Being called a boy back in the 80s was a compliment because it's a lot better than being called a nigger, you know?
So that's just how it is. But again, I'm telling you this because just know that hard work will only pay off if you're in the right place at the right time. And I'm glad I'm not at that company anymore because I was just about ready. And there was even a couple of confrontations where I almost did have to, like, well, I didn't have to, but I basically did tell
$5. You could get a lot of weed back then for $5.
my supervisors, like, hey, if you want to, fight, you can come try it. Just because of some other things and whatnot. But that's a really toxic workplace, and mentally it just got really, really out of date. So that's just how it is. So when it comes to hard work and things like that, you got to be in the right place at the right time, and that's not what it was with this last experience. So that's just what I want to say, especially when you're working hard and you're pouring your heart out into something. Make sure that you're in the right place at the right time. And this applies to anything. Like, you could be playing sports, for example, and your coach he sees the work you're putting in, he sees how much you want to grow, but he's not putting that same effort into you, and he's not playing you. He's putting you on the bench when all these trash players are out here messing up and whatnot, but he has you on the bench. But every time you go out there, you show out. It's that type of situation. Like, you got to be in the right place at the right time because that's just how it is. You gotta strategize, and you gotta get yourself in the right place. Because me, in that experience, it was a good work experience, but don't work around the wrong people. Don't let animal eaters or toxic people, Zionists, whatever it may be, homophobic people. These clowns that I worked with were also homophobic because I had a coworker who had left, and they would make homophobic jokes around him, and I never liked it. And I would even tell them, like, they're a piece of shit for that.
Oh, wham, you hear a homophobic joke. You know what? I mean, if he watched one episode of In Living Color back in the 90s, or go to an Andrew Dice Clay, any type of comedic festival or so forth back in the day, he would have been crying, Oh, I make some homophobic jokes.
So, yeah, whatever it may be, do something about it or have a plan B, and that's what I'm doing right now. I am figuring out plan B. I'm in the process of plan B currently because at the moment I'm not getting any help from the government, but as far as, like, I'm just keeping it real. I don't make personal videos like this, though I do want to help others and inspire them. Like, with your work ethic, if you're like me and you just have a strong work ethic, the will, then, find your plan B, but don't ever let any clowns like that, disrupt you and where you want to be, and, things of that sort. Just stay up, keep doing what you're doing, and that's exactly the mindset that I'm having. And I'm still doing things that I enjoy now that I'm officially unemployed for the first time in a while. It feels like the first time in forever. With all the hours I work, I am spending more time with my dogs than ever before, and that is very, very amazing for me. But that's the message that I wanted to share. You can't let these animal eaters, Zionists, whatever it may be, you cannot let them get you down. This is your life. You only have one, believe it or not, and let's live it the best way we can. So that's just I guess you could say, inspirational, motivational.
Oh, I've heard enough of this blubbering. Here's the thing, folks. Hard work does matter, but the point being is he never worked hard, He just felt that he was working harder than everyone else. I mean, in any type of job or situation, if you're an uppity black like this person is, then you're going to feel that you work harder than everyone else. Well, you are wrong. The thing about it is, people, is simply this, you go to your job and you still work as hard as you can. The rewards pay in the end itself. But I mean, he's lying. He's literally lying. He's made like 4 different excuses as far as to why he got fired, from him eating meat and him being a vegan, to being black, to coming in and wearing a hoodie. First off, which one is it? Number 2, nobody. I've never heard of anyone getting fired for wearing a hoodie. You know why? He could take it off. I think I think it has to do more with his hair, and that if he's working in a warehouse and he has his hair like that, it can get caught in the machine or something. Maybe he didn't have it wrapped up. I'm not for sure, but he definitely didn't get fired for a hoodie. There's a lot more to the story. He's full of shit. And, I would generally I would side with someone like this for someone who doesn't like my cousin and everything like that. But I have to actually say that my cousin's actually right. He is a dork. Maybe I should do a video about it, or so forth. But this guy is a monkey. I mean, that's the only thing I can describe. He's a monkey, a monkey. Literally speaking, I'm just gonna let you guys know, I mean, plain and simple. This is vegan definition. He's a monkey. Let me take my picture away. That's what he is. He's a monkey. A monkey. Period. Is that really you, Big Rob Fitness? Is that really Big Rob Fitness? Let's see if that's Big Rob Fitness. No, that's not Big Rob Fitness, I'm afraid. Nope, not Big Rob Fitness. But I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining the channel, which we're going to close up in just a minute because it's almost 2:00 p.m. So let's get a little music going. I'll keep it open for a little bit longer, but get your questions in. If you want to make a donation, you can. Be sure to thank Pugman and everybody else that has donated and contributed to this channel. Lamar with a $3 donation. I wonder why he didn't say anything. So he hasn't had any time off since he started work, but he started working at 17. Silly. Yeah, I agree. He does need a cheeseburger. Just for the record, folks, I started working at the age of 12, literally. 12. Starting work at 17 does not impress me one bit. But I guess that's his generation. I think it's just a generational thing, Lamar. I really think it is. But again, thanks for the donation. A little music playing. But I'm going to be honest with you. Well, JD is a monkey. In fact, I'm gonna do a video. Vegan definition is vegan definition a monkey, and then I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna do. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do it after this show. Vegan definition is a monkey. But yeah, I could call someone a monkey. I mean, Frieza called Goku a monkey, Why can't I call someone a monkey? Oh boy. But yeah, I gotta pack my bags for the gym. I mean, I already got what I like to do usually to save time. I put my gym clothes on and then I pack my regular clothes. But I got to be really careful about it, folks, because a lot of times I forget things like underwear and belts and stuff, you know. But I do have to check the temperature, and I got to spray the weeds out of the house and clean out the car before I really do anything, you know, before I hit the gym. Because my Cadillac is a mess and my Mercedes is a mess. I need to vacuum it out and get it cleaned up. So I'm going to keep this open extra for about 5 minutes. So we're going to close the channel out at 2:05. So get your questions in, folks. While we play a little bit of piano music. Because I'm not the piano man, I am the producer. Period.
That dude doesn't know what hard work really is. She also doesn't know how to go to work and go home, dumbass. Nobody wants a person bring their life into the workplace. He don't know that most jobs just want workers. Dumbass.
You're 110% exactly right, Lamar. And not only that, he's also a liar. You know, nobody gets fired over a hoodie. Nobody. That's just bullshit, and I don't think he was the most productive person. I think he was the biggest complainer, and, you know, the thing about a job, folks, don't bring your fucking politics in. Don't bring your veganism or your activism stuff into the workplace. When I go to the workplace, do you think I talk about the stuff here on my live streams? Hell no. I go in, I sit my backpack down with my lunch, you know, I go do my work, I go to lunch, I have my sandwich and my protein bars and my Diet Coke or whatever, and then I go home. When you go to work, you shut the fuck up, you know, and you don't think you're high and mighty over everyone else. But again, thanks for the donation. I mean, I know Trayvon got killed over a hoodie, but his story doesn't make any bit of sense. He's a monkey. That's what he is. Vegan definition, I mean, the best way I can describe it, it's a monkey. Because he monkeys around with the facts, you know. He's monkeyed around with his jobs, and when Vegan Gains challenged him to a fight, just like a monkey, he tucked his tail and swung away on a tree back into the jungles, you know, refusing to debate him. So that's 3 things that pretty much define him as a monkey, you know. But folks, since we got a couple minutes left, tell me what y'all gonna be doing this Saturday. What y'all doing this afternoon? Lamar, you gonna do another smoke live stream or so? Oh boy. Got the yawns. Well, you got to be careful as far as co-workers are concerned.
If he wanted to make a change, he should have been the manager then.
Well, Lamar, I have to somewhat disagree with you because he doesn't have the skills to be a manager ever, you know. There's not really so much of a change. He just doesn't have the skills to be a manager. He doesn't have the mindset to be the manager. He doesn't have the mentality to be the manager. I mean, I would agree with you on that if he had the mentality or the ability to be a manager. I mean, he's a whiny little bitch, you know. He has no managerial credentials. But again, Lamar, thanks again for the donation. Mars, what's up? Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're what are you? You're a millennial pretty much, so yeah. You actually do pretty good for a millennial if you don't let that bother you or anything. So, you good. I guess you got that last edge of the millennial age. It's not just being able to handle the heat or anything like that. You know, I never try to sound like an old guy saying that, you know, your generation did this. You know, whenever I was in my 20s, I used to say the same thing, sort of, that vegan definition and anyone else's age is. I thought I would never say, well, you young bucks don't know anything, but here I am. See, when he gets 20 years older, he's going to be saying, you young bucks ain't anything. It's just a progressive pattern as far as to things are concerned. And like I said, I'll be honest with you, my generation is dumber than the next generations, including myself, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I mean, guys, think about it for a minute. I didn't join YouTube until, a couple of years ago, whereas my cousin Vegan Gaines, he was there in early 2010, Some people was in it since 2008. I didn't embrace it because, as a Gen X person, it was pretty hard to adapt to that particular age of social media. Didn't grow up around it or anything. But again, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. But yeah, they wouldn't have been able to handle men on films. Not at all. Yeah, their generation would have got killed. I mean, guys, think about it for a minute. Imagine if Vegan Definition turned on the TV to In Living Color, which, everyone watched at 8 o'clock p.m. on Sunday. You watch your Simpsons, first off. Either you watch The Simpsons or The Cosby Show. And then you would watch In Living Color. That was Sunday for me. 8 o'clock, Simpsons. 8:30, In Living Color.
You really won't get another job now saying racist things. These companies look online too.
Lamar with a $2 donation. I mean, he'll get another job. I'm pretty sure he'll get another job. It's just not going to be in a very high position, Like I said, someone has to manage cooking the fries and someone has to manage bagging groceries and stuff. So I'm sure even jobs really, even if they look online, there are federal laws in place to prevent them from doing anything because it's a First Amendment type thing. But most jobs don't really care what you say online at this point. It becomes a liability. They would rather hire than get sued. Because whether you win a lawsuit or not, it's going to cost money. So, but again, thanks again for the donation. I'm not drinking or smoking anything. I got to go to the gym and work out for a little bit. But folks, that is all the time we have for Poll Saturday. I want to thank Lamar for donating. I want to thank everybody for joining me. You folks have a good weekend. That's all you can do. Try to have a good weekend. And I want you guys to remember one thing. Okay? Don't whine about life, If you get laid off a job, if you get terminated from a job, pick your ass up and keep going, keep pushing. KIM, keep it moving, do the Kim, That's all you got to do. Don't be like this whiny little bumble rat, Like I said before, he's a monkey, and I don't want you guys, and I'm giving you this information, folks, so you don't end up being a monkey. Okay? But that's all I got to say. You guys take care, and as always, peace and soul.
What?